So did Aaron Glenn lose the locker room? According to comments from John Kaminsky, he may have. He may have. So now it's time to go. Dan Campbell has to make a decision. It may not be this year. But the thing I keep going back to is you demote Anthony Lynn in the middle of the season. You had way less talent than you have now on offense, but yet you demote him, right? Miserable. Lions hadn't won a game, and I want to say it was after the Rams or so in week 6 or 7 that Anthony Lynn was demoted as offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, okay? And he had nobody on offense, no one. DeAndre Swift couldn't stay healthy. Lions are coming off 7 draft picks from the draft. Nobody. Tyrell Williams, Rashard Perriman didn't make the team. Kadero Hodge. Those are his receivers. And a up-and-coming Amon-Ra St. Brown. Anthony Lynn got 0 time, was demoted. The next year, guess what happens? Aubrey Pleasant is fired, quote, because something needed to change. Now you go into year 3. Aaron Glenn just keep calling stinker after stinker after stinker. And we have the best talent that we've had this entire time that he's been defensive coordinator. Brian Branch, Jack Campbell, Aiden Hutchinson. We got guys on that defensive line. In defense, we still need more, but we got guys. You would say that he has a much better. We don't have any Chris Boards, any Juju Hughes, any Jeff Okudas, any Amani Ararie. Okay, we lost Emmanuel Mosley. We lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Next man up. How long are we going to give Aaron Glenn before we show him the door? Now, I talked to one of my guys today, and they were saying that maybe Sheila should step in. And I say, no, that's the last thing we want. Sheila put the guys in place to make the football decisions. She writes the checks. She shows up in moments of good faith, right? Like when the Lions were 1-6, and she came out and said, we got the guys in place. I truly believe that. And what do you know? We trade TJ Hockenson, and we turn that thing around. 8-2 in our last 10. Sheila doing exactly what she's supposed to do. Stay out of it. But you put guys in place to make those decisions. Brad Holmes can't make the decision. It's got to be Dan Campbell. When have we had enough of Aaron Glenn? To me, the time has passed. My breaking point was the New Orleans Saints. You scored 21 points. 21 points in 7 minutes. Offense is rolling. You let them score 28 after that. The offense put up 12 points. Your offense is going to crumble eventually. The offense is going to run into bad stretches. Why am I blaming Aaron Glenn over Ben Johnson? Because if the offense falters, we lose. But the offense wins us games consistently. The Chargers, the offense. The offense didn't give up a 4th and 1 to Keenan Allen that turned into a touchdown. The offense doesn't give up that stuff. They have to go out there in that very same game. The Detroit Lions had to go for it on 4th down to secure the game because their defense can't stop anyone. It is time for the Detroit Lions to move on from Aaron Glenn. How long is it going to take? That's what I want to know. As soon as AG snapped at that reporter for using the word adjust, I knew it was time for him to go. Reading comments from YouTube, MCDC won't fire AG because he doesn't want everyone being more worried about losing their job than winning games. Okay, Directed. That might be a good point. But where was that for Aubrey Pleasant last year? Where was that for Aubrey Pleasant? When those guys in the backfield and the defense and the team, do you know what they fired him for? They fired him to show that no one was safe. And guess what? It changed. So that's actually, it's a horrible idea. Nobody should be, if you are lacking at your job, you're not going to be safe either. So something need to change. And this offseason, expect a change at defensive coordinator. And I'm going to tell you what, just like the symbiote suit from Spider-Man, eventually Aaron Glenn is going to bleed into Dan Campbell, and they're going to be connected. They're going to be connected. They had a show back in the 80s 80s called Who's the Boss? Was it Tony or was it Angela? Never really knew who's the boss, or was it Mona, right? But in this case, Dan Campbell is the boss of Aaron Glenn. And he going to have to let him go, because eventually Brad Holmes might have to step in and say, hey, player, I'm going to need you to fire your homie. Okay? And I'm going to keep it a buck. That's why you don't go into business with your homies. You don't go into business. You don't hire your homies. Otherwise, you're going to be pouring one out for your homies when you fire them. So it's time, man. It's time for Aaron Glenn to be shown the door. I don't want to hear it. And if he somehow makes it to the 2024 NFL season as defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, there's no excuses. I'm talking about if we are not the number 3 defense overall in the league in the first 4 weeks of the season, he's fired. He's fired. Let me know.